All right, you sick fucks, are you ready to get your minds blown? Because today we're going deep into the freaky-ass world of AI.
AI.
The shit that's either going to turn us into goddamn superheroes or make us slaves to robot overlords.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions just yet.
Okay, fine. But we've got a shit ton of research articles and enough caffeine to kill a goddamn elephant, so let's get this party started.
So the history of AI is a lot weirder and a lot longer than most people think.
Wait, you mean it didn't just start with Siri and Alexa?
Nope, not even close.
No.
We're talking about ideas that have been around since people were sacrificing goats to the weather gods.
Goats, sacrifices, and robots? What the fuck are you talking about? Does some caveman think his pet rock was going to write a screenplay or some shit?
Not quite, but the ancient Greeks were obsessed with the idea of machines that could do things like humans.
They were way ahead of their time.
They had myths about this god Hephaestus, who was like the blacksmith of the gods.
Okay.
And he was supposed to have built all kinds of automated gadgets. And then there's the story of Talos, this giant bronze automaton.
A goddamn robot.
Basically, he was supposed to guard the island of Crete. Can you imagine having one of those guarding your house?
Screw guard dog.
Eh.
I want a goddamn bronze giant protecting my stash of weed. But come on, that was just mythology, right? People making shit up because they were scared of the dark.
They're myths, but they show us how long humans have been fascinated by the idea of creating intelligent machines.
So basically, everyone wanted their own personal robot army back then.
Right.
But when did we actually start building something that looked like AI?
Well, fast forward to the 9th century. You've got the Banu Musa brothers. These guys were brilliant inventors during the Islamic Golden Age.
Okay.
They came up with this programmable flute powered by water. It was controlled by pegs and valves, basically an early form of programming. Arguably, it was the first machine with a stored program, way ahead of its time.
A flute? Seriously, what are these guys high?
Not high, just geniuses. They were way ahead of their time.
Okay, I'll give you that. But robot musicians? That's some trippy shit.
And they weren't alone. Another inventor from that time, Al-Jazari, built all sorts of crazy machines, including a whole goddamn programmable orchestra.
A robot orchestra.
Oh, okay, now you're just messing with me.
I'm serious. This guy was a genius. He had mechanical musicians playing all sorts of instruments.
Okay, I'll bite robot rock stars centuries before electricity even existed. That's some badass shit. But let's jump ahead a bit. Everyone's heard of Frankenstein's monster, but how the hell does that fit into all this AI stuff?
Frankenstein's monster is a fictional story, but it's super relevant to this whole AI thing because it brings up all the ethical anxieties we have about creating artificial life.
Okay.
Mary Shelley wrote the book in the 19th century, right when the Industrial Revolution was taking off. People were starting to see the potential and the dangers of technology.
So Frankenstein is basically a warning about screwing around with technology and creating something we can't control. Like those Black Mirror episodes that make you want to chuck your phone in the toilet. Exactly. Frankenstein's monster is this tragic figure. He's created with good intentions, but it all goes to hell, and it raises the question of what happens when the things we create start thinking for themselves.
Deep shit, man.
Yeah.
So Frankenstein is like the OG AI ethics lesson. But what about real-life scientists? Were there any actual geniuses trying to build thinking machines back then?
You bet. Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace, these two were pioneers. Babbage designed this amazing machine called the analytical engine.
What the hell is that?
Basically a mechanical computer way back in the 1800s. And Ada Lovelace saw the potential of this thing, not just for crunching numbers, but for creating art music and all sorts of crazy stuff.
So she was like the first computer program.
Pretty much. She was visionary, way ahead of her time.
Talk about breaking stereotypes. She was a badass in a field full of dudes.
Absolutely. They were like the Steve Jobs and Wozniak of their time.
The ultimate tech power couple. But the story of AI isn't all smooth sailing. There were leaps forward and these huge roadblocks. The 20th century is where things really started to take off, but not without some serious drama.
Yeah, things got pretty heated.
Drama? Spill the tea.
Yeah.
Did some scientist build a robot girlfriend and accidentally create Skynet or something?
Nothing quite that dramatic, but there were definitely some big egos clashing and some fierce debates. And then there's the whole AI winter thing.
What?
The AI winter, basically in the 1970s, funding for AI research dried up. People were starting to wonder if the whole field was a dead end.
So the quest for artificial intelligence went into hibernation. What the hell happened? Did everyone just give up?
Not exactly. There are a lot of factors, but one of the big ones was this book called Perceptrons. It showed the limitations of early neural networks, which were supposed to be the next big thing in AI.
So one book caused the whole field to crash and burn.
Pretty much. People lost faith, funding disappeared, and AI research went into a slump.
Talk about a buzzkill. But how did AI come back from the dead?
Slowly but surely. By the 1980s, things were starting to pick up again. There was this new focus on...
Okay, so less pie-in-the-sky dreaming and more real-world stuff.
Exactly. And then there was the rise of robotics. Machines like the Stanford cart could navigate obstacles and move around on their own.
Not quite the robot butlers we were promised in sci-fi, but hey, baby steps right. But when did AI really start to show its ass and make people shit their pants? When did we start to see what this thing could really do?
One of the biggest moments was in 1997 when Deep Blue, a chess-playing computer, beat Garry Kasparov, the world chess champion.
Deep Blue, I remember that. It was like watching a sci-fi movie come to life. Man versus machine. It was insane.
It was a huge deal. People were freaking out, wondering if machines were finally smarter than humans.
Wasn't Deep Blue just a really good calculator? It wasn't actually thinking like a human, was it?
That's the million-dollar question. Was Deep Blue really intelligent or just a very sophisticated machine? It's a question that's still debated today. And it gets to the heart of what intelligence really is and whether we can truly recreate it in a machine.
Deep shit, man. We've covered a lot of ground here, from ancient myths to robot orchestras to chess-playing supercomputers, but we're just getting started.
There's a lot more to come.
Stay tuned, you magnificent bastards, because in part 2, we're going even deeper into this AI rabbit hole. We'll be talking about self-driving cars, AI art, and all sorts of other mind-blowing shit.
It's gonna get wild.
You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back, you curious degenerates. Ready for round 2 of this AI mindfuck?
Hell yeah. Let's do this. So last time we were talking about Deep Blue, the chess-playing machine that kicked Kasparov's ass. But was it really intelligent or just a really good calculator?
It's a good question, and it's one that's still debated today, but AI has moved way beyond chess.
Wow.
And one of the more recent milestones that really blew people's minds was AlphaGo.
AlphaGo? What the hell's that?
It's a program developed by Google DeepMind, and it learned to play Go.
Go. Isn't that the game with the little black and white stones that looks like some kind of ancient Chinese puzzle?
That's the one. It's a game that's been around for thousands of years, and it's insanely complex.
Yeah, I tried to learn it once, and my brain nearly melted.
Well, AlphaGo managed to master it, and it did it in a way that no one thought was possible.
So how did this AlphaGo thing work its magic? Was it just brute forcing its way through every possible move like a digital Rain Man?
Not exactly. AlphaGo was built using a type of AI called a neural network, which is inspired by the structure of the human brain.
So it's like a digital brain.
Kind of. It's a network of interconnected nodes that can learn from data.
So how do they teach this digital brain to play Go? Did they feed it a bunch of rule books and strategy guides?
Nope. They didn't program it with any rules at all. They just showed it millions of games played by humans.
Oh, it learned by watching.
Yeah.
Like a digital apprentice.
Exactly. And it learned so well that it started beating the best human players in the world.
Okay, now that's just creepy. A machine teaching itself to play a game that's been around for centuries and then beating the masters at their own game. It's like some kind of sci-fi nightmare.
It was a pretty big deal. It showed that AI was capable of learning and adapting in ways that we never thought possible.
So what's next? Are we going to have AI playing poker, winning Nobel Prizes, and writing best-selling novels?
Well, we're already seeing AI being used in all sorts of fields. One of the biggest is self-driving cars.
Those things freak me out. I mean, what happens if the car's AI decides to take me on a joyride through a demolition derby?
Well, the idea is that self-driving cars will be safer and more efficient than human drivers. They don't get tired or distracted, and they don't make emotional decisions.
Yeah, but I like being in control of my car. I don't want some algorithm deciding where I go and how fast I get there.
I get it, but think about all the accidents that are caused by human error. Every year, thousands of people die in car crashes because someone was texting or drunk driving.
Okay, you got a point there. But I'm still going to hold on to my steering wheel for now. What about AI art? I've seen some of those AI-generated paintings online, and they look like a monkey finger-painted them.
It's definitely a mixed bag. Some AI art is pretty impressive, but some of it is just plain weird.
So is it real art or just a bunch of algorithms spitting out random images?
It's a good question, and there's no easy answer. Some people argue that true art requires human emotion and intention, something that machines don't have.
Yeah, and can a computer really feel the beauty of a sunset or the pain of heartbreak?
It's hard to say, but AI can definitely create images and music that are aesthetically pleasing, and even thought-provoking.
So it's like a tool for human artists,
Yeah.
a way to augment their creativity.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see AI creating art that's even more profound and moving than anything humans can create.
Okay, that's a scary thought. But let's get back to the real world. Can AI actually solve some of the problems that are plaguing humanity? Or is it just a fancy toy for tech geeks?
AI is already being used to tackle some of the world's biggest challenges. In healthcare, AI is helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately personalize treatment plans and even develop new drugs.
So AI is basically playing doctor now.
In a way, and it's doing a pretty good job. It's also being used in climate science to analyze massive data sets and predict the impacts of climate change.
So AI can help us save the planet. Now that's something I can get behind.
It's not a magic bullet, but it's definitely a powerful tool that can help us understand and address some of the most pressing issues facing humanity.
This is all pretty mind-blowing. But it also sounds kind of scary. I mean, what happens when AI gets too smart? What happens when it starts making decisions that affect our lives without our input?
That's a valid concern, and it's something that we need to think carefully about. As AI becomes more powerful, we need to make sure that it's aligned with human values and goals.
So we need to make sure that AI is working for us, not against us.
Exactly, and we need to start thinking about that now before it's too late.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we control something that's potentially smarter than us?
It's not going to be easy, but one thing we can do is focus on transparency and explainability. We need to be able to understand how AI systems are making decisions, not just treat them as black boxes that spit out answers.
So no more algorithmic magic tricks. We need to be able to see what's going on under the hood.
Exactly. We also need to think about accountability and responsibility. Who's liable when an AI makes a mistake? How do we prevent AI from being used to discriminate, manipulate, or exploit people?
These are some big questions, and I don't have the answers. But it sounds like we need to start figuring this shit out now before we end up as slaves to our robot overlords.
I agree. We need to have a serious conversation about the ethics of AI, and we need to start having it now.
Well, this is all getting a bit heavy. We've gone from ancient robots to world-saving AIs to the potential downfall of humanity. I need a goddamn drink.
Me too.
But before we spiral into an existential crisis, there's more to discuss.
We've only just scratched the surface.
Stay tuned, you beautiful degenerates, because in part 3 we'll explore the even wilder frontiers of AI and what the future holds.
It's gonna blow your mind.
All right, you crazy bastards. We're back for the final round of this AI shit show. My brain is fried, and I'm pretty sure I've developed a caffeine twitch, but we're gonna power through this.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
Ancient robots, self-driving cars, AI art that looks like a dog's breakfast. What the hell else is there?
We've only scratched the surface. The field of AI is moving so fast, it's making my head spin.
So what's next? Are we talking about robot butlers that can make some mean martini or AI therapists that can tell me to get my shit together?
Well, one of the hottest areas of research right now is artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It kind of is. It's the idea of creating a machine that has the same general intelligence as a human being.
Hold up. Are you saying we're going to build a real-life Terminator? Because I've seen those movies, and I'm not keen on being turned into scrap metal.
Not necessarily a Terminator, but the idea is to create an AI that can think, learn, and solve problems across a wide range of domains, just like humans can.
So like a super intelligent AI that could do everything from writing code, composing symphonies, to winning Olympic gold medals?
Exactly.
Okay, now that's just terrifying. How the hell are we going to control something that's potentially smarter than us? It's like giving a chimpanzee a nuclear weapon.
It's a huge challenge, and it's one that we need to approach very carefully. We need to make sure that any AGI we create is aligned with human values and goals.
So no Skynet scenarios. No robot uprising.
That's the plan. But it's going to require a lot of careful thought and planning. We need to think about things like transparency, explainability, accountability, and responsibility.
So basically, we need to make sure that these super intelligent AIs are on our side, not plotting to enslave us.
Right, and we need to start thinking about that now before it's too late.
So what can we do? How do we prevent this whole AI thing from turning into a dystopian nightmare?
One thing we can do is focus on developing AI systems that are transparent and explainable. We need to be able to understand how they're making decisions, not just treat them as black boxes.
So no more algorithmic magic. We need to be able to peek under the hood and see what's going on.
Exactly. We also need to think about who's responsible when an AI makes a mistake.
Like if a self-driving car crashes or an AI doctor misdiagnoses a patient.
Right. These are complex issues and there are no easy answers.
This is all pretty heavy stuff. I think I need another shot of espresso to process all this.
Me too.
But seriously, this is important shit.
Right.
We need to have a conversation about the future of AI and what it means for humanity.
Absolutely. And we need to have that conversation now before it's too late.
All right, you magnificent bastards. That's it for our deep dive into the wild world of AI. We've covered a lot of ground, from ancient myths to the potential for a robot apocalypse.
It's been quite a journey.
Hopefully you learned a thing or two, had a few laughs, and maybe even pissed your pants a little bit from fear.
I hope so.
The future is uncertain, but one thing's for sure, AI is going to play a huge role in shaping it. So stay informed, stay curious, and for the love of all that is holy, don't let a toaster become your boss.
Good advice.
Until next time, keep those brains firing and remember the future is what we make it.